Really, really happy for this opportunity. Can't say enough good things about, what Todd Stewart and our administration's done to get us to the point where we could actually compete and play. It means so much to our kids, and it's something that absolutely will make us better moving forward. And as far as how we played, it was exactly what I would think it would be. It was rough around the edges at times, but to be honest, we actually played pretty clean volleyball through 2 sets. In that 3rd set, we took some uncharacteristic, unforced errors that made that one a little closer than it needed to be. But overall, just happy for our players to have the opportunity.
Coach, this is Nick Keyser from the College Heights Herald. So my first question for you is, how happy were you with the execution in the first match?
Yeah, again, surprise. Offensively in those first 2 sets, we were incredibly efficient. I mean, we had 2 hitting errors in the first set and 2 hitting errors in the second set, and that's good for late season, postseason volleyball to be able to get through sets and do that. So, I think Nadia Judenet had a lot to do with that. She was very, very good from the setter position in terms of getting our kids in good positions, and so I felt really good about our offensive execution through 2 sets. Defensively and ball control wise, ball handling was a little ragged. It wasn't as clean as you would want it to be. But again, Nadia cleaned up a lot of that stuff, and it's stuff that you would expect to see in a situation like we're in.
Coach, you see Lauren Matthews have a good game. So what was it like to see her execute the way that she did, leading the team on the court? Yeah,
Lauren sure makes me look like a good coach on game day. There's things she does out there that are not things that you teach. I'd love to sit here and tell you that she's who she is because of the coach she has, but it's just simply not true. She is a gifted kid, and she has worked really hard. I say this to our team a lot, but I hope people don't just dismiss Lauren as doing the things that she does because she's so athletic, because there's so much more to her in terms of being competitive and her work ethic and all those things that allow her to be an elite player.
Coach, Hunter Smith from WBKO, obviously you guys are done now for the fall, but what did you see from your team just that you really, really liked going forward for when spring rolls around, and what are some things that maybe you're like, okay, we need to work on this before we get back into gameplay?
Yeah, we're just loaded with potential. We're blessed to have a lot of talent, and Kaylin Jackson is a kid that comes to mind. What you saw out of KJ in those first 2 sets, through 2 sets, she was hitting 600 or something like that. And she is a kid, that can really change us offensively in a good way. And, and then in the 3rd set, she was a kid that changed us offensively in not such a good way. She took some errors that she shouldn't have taken and stuff like that. But I think she is a real pivotal piece in determining, just how high we can push this thing in the spring, because I think she has a chance to be one of the real elite players in our league on the right side, and we're looking forward to continuing to getting her comfortable over there.
Coach, this is Nick. Go ahead, Hunter.
All right, I'm just gonna, again, touch on that going into the spring. Just what does this victory do for y'all?
Well, it's oxygen for these kids. I mean, it just really is. I mean, it's been a year since they've played, and it's just a breath of air for them to have the opportunity to get out there and do what they love. The most disciplined, dedicated player in the country in any sport doesn't do it because they love practice. They love when the bright lights come on. And, I think that's why you saw, the kids from our team a year ago, that kind of led the way, Paige Briggs and Nadia Judenet and Lauren Matthews. I'd like to tell you they've been our best 3 in practice every single day, but that hasn't always been the case. But those kids are gamers, and when the bright lights come on, that's why they do this. And it was good to see them. I think it was good for them to get out there and kind of do what they do a little bit and just get a breath of air, if you will, and remember that this will come to an end and we'll get an opportunity to do this again soon.
Coach, this is Nick again. So you have the rest of the day with a couple more exhibitions that don't count towards the record, but what are you going to be looking for from your players throughout the rest of the day?
Yeah, it'll be a total shift, the rest of the day. We kind of went with the lineup and stuck with it and played this like it was a conference championship match this morning. And, this afternoon will be a total shift. If we win a set, we'll probably completely change our lineup to come back out in the second set. And I want all our kids. Number one, I want to get film on all our kids. Number two, I want all our kids to get an opportunity to run out there under the bright lights and kind of monitor their progress and see how far they've come as players. And we have really, really good depth on this team. And as I start junking up the lineups here a lot throughout the day, the results will be what it is. It'll be hard to have any kind of cohesiveness, but just to give them the opportunity to get out there and get some stuff on film and be able to use that to continue to learn and move forward and see who can get out there under the bright lights and do things.
Coach Hunter Smith, WBKO again. And so just, after today, what's kind of your next step in preparation for the spring?
Well, we have a couple weeks here before the Thanksgiving break, and we'll kind of use that. We'll evaluate this film and look at that a little bit, and then we'll get into meetings with our players and just talk about, what's got to happen in the next couple months to be ready to come back and play a spring season. I guess I'll go talk to our softball and baseball coaches and people that do this in the spring, because it's a whole lot easier to keep kids ready in June and July when they're outside and can be active and all that. I'm not so sure sitting on the couch eating Christmas cookies is going to be the recipe to be ready to play come January. So we're going to have to address those things and make sure that we come back ready to get after it in the spring.
Coach, this is Nick again from the Herald. How optimistic are you that you're going to be able to have those non-conference games before Conference USA play starts in the spring?
Yeah, I feel good about it. I know, I have great confidence that Todd Stewart and our administration will do everything they can in their power to make it happen. And B, all the great people that work all around this athletic department are going to do whatever they can to give these kids an experience. It's one of the things that means the most to me is just watching how many people in WKU athletics and really throughout our campus are working really, really hard just to give these kids this experience. And it's not something that goes unnoticed by me. It's not something that goes unnoticed by our players. And so every time I've always liked to think that we've played this sport for all the people in this community, but every win that we have today and moving forward is truly a victory for everyone in this athletic department to get to this point and have the opportunity, and for everyone across this campus for working so hard to allow it to happen and doing the right things. And so maybe more so than ever, we look forward to getting back and representing everybody who's putting in the work to allow this to happen.
Anything else for Coach?